Elon Musk asserted this week that his various businesses are suffering as a consequence of his involvement with the White House. Who could have ever possibly foreseen this? He jumped on Fox News, again, and said it has been disadvantageous for me to be in the government. He added that his companies are suffering because I'm in the government. SpaceX and Tesla are like on fire both figuratively and literally. But what about the Boring Company? Remember that? When Elon was going on about the tunnels? What's going on there? The Boring Company has managed to stay out of the headlines and has become a bit more mysterious in comparison to Elon's other ventures. To date, they have only finished one actual public tunnel, but can new contracts in Dubai shift the narrative? Is the Boring Company quietly Elon's biggest failure to date, or quietly his biggest success? Like many of Elon Musk's great ideas, the Boring Company began as a tweet. On December 17, 2016, he wrote, "Traffic is driving me nuts. I'm going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging. It shall be called the Boring Company." But this was in the era where he was tweeting about taking Tesla private or piloting a mini submarine in Thailand. So people thought he wouldn't actually do it, but he did. And in 2017, the Infrastructure Tunnel Construction Service and Equipment Company was founded as a subsidiary of SpaceX. In 2018, it was spun off into a separate corporation. As of now, the company has completed multiple test tunnels and only one project that is open to the public. The company's mission is to solve traffic, enable rapid point-to-point transportation, and transform cities. But how, right? For context, it can cost an average of $1.4 billion per mile to construct a tunnel in urban areas of the US. Elon reckons he has the technology and the means to significantly increase tunnel speed and drop costs. The Boring Company bought a machine and started boring their first ever tunnel in late 2018 on SpaceX land. They had an opening party for the tunnel, great, but it got mixed reviews. Allegedly, the path was bumpy, the cars didn't actually drive themselves, and never went faster than about 40 miles an hour. So it's just a normal road in a tunnel, not exactly an earth-shattering project. It's a taxi, but underground. Since then, the Boring Company has built a 1.7-mile-long tunnel under the Las Vegas Convention Center, in which passengers are ferried back and forth in human-driven Teslas. Proposals in other states like Illinois and California ended up being scrapped after the public began scrutinizing details of the plans and seeking pesky environmental reviews. But Las Vegas was like, we're down to clown. And the Las Vegas Convention Visitors Authority greenlit the idea and funded a 0.8-mile route at its convention center. The tunneling company got to work digging in November of 2019, and the whole thing opened in 2021. But there are already plans to extend the services to 18 new stations and around 25 miles of tunnels. But as you can imagine, with Elon, none of this is without controversy. The project, now known as the Vegas Loop, is privately operated, meaning it receives no federal funding and is exempt from all sorts of governmental vetting and environmental analyses demanded by other cities that Boring pitched to. These reviews, if actually done, assess whether a proposal is the best option, as well as inform the public of potential impacts on traffic and the environment. The head of the convention authority said that the project is the only viable way to ease traffic on the Strip. But this claim was never publicly debated or anything before permission was granted. The approvals that got handed out meant that the company could build and operate near homes and businesses without the usual checks and balances that would usually apply to major public transport projects. The vibe is okay, let's just approve it and we'll find him out the ass later if he cooks it, I guess. I bet Elon loves that though. Lack of regulation. I bet he was fizzing at the bit, According to records obtained by ProPublica and CityCast Las Vegas, Boring has skirted building, environmental, and labor regulations, on 2 occasions installed tunnels without permits to work on county property, dumped untreated water into storm drains, and workers have filed complaints with the State Occupational Safety and Health Administration about ankle-deep water in the tunnels, muck spills, and severe chemical burns. After an investigation, Nevada OSHA fined the company more than $112,000 in fines in 2023. The Boring Company is private, so we don't know their exact financial situation. But 8 years and only a few miles of tunnel doesn't sound ideal to me. And in a very Elon-esque twist, in 2018, they resorted to literally selling flamethrowers to get some extra money. But despite the controversy and scaled-back promises, the Vegas Loop has transported more than 2 million passengers through its tunnels since 2021. Here's a video of inside the tunnel. The lights change colors to make it feel cool and futuristic, but in reality, it's kind of scary and dodgy looking. That's just my opinion. Like, where's the exit? You know? Anyway, the reality of the Boring Company is a massively scaled-back version of the big vision Elon started working on in 2016. The initial goal, according to Musk, was to build 1 mile of tunnel a week. That didn't happen. When the project was first proposed, Elon was talking about pods capable of carrying 16 passengers at once that would shoot through the tunnel at speeds of up to 150 miles per hour. That also didn't happen. But to their credit, the Boring Company completed its first 1.14 mile tunnel at the construction cost of $10 million, which isn't bad. And the Vegas Loop seems to have stayed within budget, by whatever means necessary, at around $50 million. In February, the company announced that it has come to a preliminary agreement with Dubai's Road and Transport Authority to build the Dubai Loop, a 17-kilometer underground transport system. The project, announced by UAE's AI minister and Musk at the World Government Summit, will have 11 stations in its first phase, with speeds of up to 160 kilometers an hour. It aims to reduce traffic in busy areas, moving 200,000 passengers per hour to start, with plans to reach 100,000. No timeline for completion has been given yet, so it's yet to be seen if this will actually pan out into anything, or just be another kind of just weird tunnel that might be there. When you compare the Boring Company to Tesla, it's not doing as catastrophically bad. Like, at least there aren't protests in the streets or people trying to blow up the tunnels. But this is apparently due to the fact that another guy is in charge of the company completely. I just find it really funny. I was like looking into this and I was like, oh, this could be a lot worse. And it's like, yeah, because Elon's not in charge. Steve Davis. He spent 20 years helping Elon cut costs at SpaceX and the website formerly known as Twitter. He's also the CEO of the Boring Company. He has a reputation as a cold cost cutter, signing off on costs as low as a few $100s according to people with insider knowledge, which is unusual for a company of Boring size who have raised over $800 million in capital. Steve is busy at the moment. Outside of his day job at Boring, he's also been brought on to hire people at Doge. According to insiders who have remained anonymous, Steve runs the Boring Company himself, and Elon doesn't really appear to be super involved. Steve sounds like a pretty intense guy, but it does sound like he's present and on the ground for the Boring Company projects. Unlike Elon, who is obviously busy elsewhere doing whatever, like giving a sperm to everyone, or getting the president to do a car ad, or getting a chainsaw out, or who even knows? Allegedly, Steve spends more time in Las Vegas than he does anywhere else. While in town, he's often seen pacing around and talking on the phone until late at night. Former employees recall being sent on quick flights between Austin and Las Vegas to pick up parts for machines. The company's strict deadlines sometimes mean getting parts in the same day instead of waiting for next day shipping. So it could be possible that when Elon isn't actually in charge, things go better? This is outside of claims that the states who have shown interest in the tunnels get ghosted by Boring Company as soon as they face any sort of regulatory pushback, which I find really funny. Like, oh, you want us to do due diligence? Never mind. As the Boring Company continues to tunnel its way through the complexities of infrastructure and innovation, one thing is clear. It remains a curious piece of Elon Musk's empire. While the lofty ambitions may not have fully materialized, at least not yet, the Vegas Loop is still chugging along, offering a glimpse into what could be a transformative shift in urban transport. It's like an Uber, but it's a Tesla and it's in the ground. Whether this under-the-radar adventure becomes Musk's biggest triumph or another just absolute failure in his career remains to be seen. Thank you so much for watching. My shirt ripped. while I was doing that. Did I get too worked up? I don't know, but very disappointed in the brand today. Just want to say thank you, everybody, for your continued support. I'm reading all the comments. I always read all the comments, and thank you so much for being here. We love making these videos for you guys, and we love making sure that you know what's going on. And I do read all the comments, and I'm very, very, very appreciative. So thank you very much. And I'm even more appreciative of the people that catch that my accent is New Zealand and not from Australia. Thank you very much to those people. And I do see the comments about my accent being weird. I know. I've heard other people. I know my accent is weird. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget.